Welcome, folks, to the premiere episode of Season 2 of BATTLETECH Simplified. I'm Michael Shockman, I'll be your host and commentator, and in today's premiere episode, we will be discussing a relative newcomer to the arena of recon and light scout mechs. Today we will be covering the Flea. Focused on speed and firepower, the lightly armored Flea was an extremely rare sight until the arrival of the Wolf's Dragoons mercenary unit, with the design experiencing a revival as an inexpensive recon and anti-personnel militia mech. Initially called the Trooper when it was introduced as the Free Worlds League's first light scout battle mech in 2475, the design was so heavily flawed that it took 25 years before all the issues were corrected, with a new name selected to escape the bad press. The early prototype was designed by Colonel J. Marcus Llewellyn James and his hand-picked team at Tadet Industries in a bid to create a dedicated recon battle mech for the Free Worlds League military. The design was considered highly maneuverable and lightweight at the time, and utilized a basic chassis similar to their larger work mechs. The mech systems appeared straightforward, however, with a power plant, gyroscope, cockpit, and other critical systems housed in an armored box, mounted on reinforced armored birdwalker legs. Only with the help of Colonel Llewellyn James' contacts in the military and government circles, and according to rumors, possible bribery of politicians and decision makers, the FWLM ultimately accepted delivery of the Trooper. While it was considered easy to maintain by technicians and logisticians, it wasn't long before it gained a poor reputation among those that piloted it. Since the design was based off their work mechs, it completely lacked any dedicated ejection mechanism, and forced pilots to manually exit should they become disabled. Additionally, the legs proved to be unable to cope with heavy combat, which became apparent in various failed trials before the FWLM's Minister of Defense. Despite these shortcomings, however, the League's chief armorer and quartermaster general continued purchasing the prototype year after year. This ultimately led to the Trooper being selected as the very first FWLM mech to be upgraded with modern, quote-unquote, technology in 2501, and rechristened as the Flea, as the FWFLE4 Flea. While produced on and off until the early succession wars, excessive losses of the lightly armored design led Earthworks to switch its production line to manufacturing heavier designs. This changed with the arrival of the Wolf's Dragoons, who brought with them a large number of Fleas and reached an exclusive production arrangement with Earthworks that resulted in the company opening its lines to replenish the Dragoons' losses in the Fourth Succession War. With multiple lines on Assumption, Bernardo, and Victoria, after letting the Dragoons exclusivity clause lapse, Earthworks started selling the easy-to-manufacture, easy-to-maintain mech by the dropship load across the Inner Sphere. Originally produced exclusively for the Dragoons until the Capellan Confederation acquired the design blueprints via Masakawa raid during the 3040s, The post-Helm Memory Core FLE-17 variant is based on the older FLE-15 model, since the Dragoons use the Flea in a recon role more than an anti-personnel mech. Earthworks conceived at that point a new design by incorporating recovered technology, retaining the design's maximum speed of 97.2 kilometers per hour. The addition of an endo steel chassis freed up weight for a mask system that allows the mech's speed to be pushed up to 129.6 kilometers per hour in short bursts. The increase of speed is required to ensure survival on the modern battlefield, as the FLE-17 is only clad in a pitiful 3 tons of Livingston ceramics armor plating. Once the FLE-17 plans were captured and the Dragoons' contract clause elapsed, Earthworks began producing the new design almost exclusively for the Confederation until 3053, which saw use within within their numerous militias. It was rarely seen, however, among any of the other great houses, militaries, but some sightings did appear after on the mercenary markets with Dragoon serial numbers, which interestingly gave some credibility to reports that Widowmakers, operating an extensive salvage operation on Outreach, found it and were making good use of it. However, with the Confederation later advancing in stealth technology and light weaponry, the Flea became a logical test platform for new prototypes. These performed well, which encouraged Earthworks to refit several older models. In terms of the weapons and equipment, the FLE-17's primary weapons are 2 Martel medium pulse lasers, replacing the venerable FLE-15's more mundane standard lasers. These are backed up by an Olympian flamer, which works well for anti-personnel use. The Flea also has 2 rear-mounted Martel medium lasers for point defense. As for my personal feelings on the Flea, honestly, I don't really know a lot of. Until I made this video, and did the research for it. I didn't really know a lot about it. It was a mech that was a common sight in my usual playthroughs of MechWarrior 4 Mercenaries. And was one I always usually sold because it was too light for what I wanted to do. It was fast, but it was too light and too lightly armored and too lightly armed to really make much of a difference, and I never really used it in Solaris. I know that there are plenty of people who probably do use it, but for me, just not my thing. Check it out, and let me know down in the comments what you think about the Flea. Thank you so much, folks, for joining me on this premiere episode of Season 2 of our BattleTech Simplified series. I am, at the time of this recording, sitting down to a long, extensive recording session where I'm going to be doing the entire season in either 1 or 2 sections of things, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys think. I also want to say thank you to everyone in the first season who liked and shared, and the amazing turnout that we got on this thing, which has really gone forward and told me that this is really what you guys want to see. So I hope you guys will look forward to seeing a lot more of this coming in the future. Anyway, guys, I'm Michael Schockman. I've been your host and commentator. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video. Also, comment down below what your feelings on the Flea are. And last but not least, check out the links down in the description. You know what they do, you know where they go, you know what to do. I'm Michael Schockman. I've been your host and commentator. And remember, as always, guys, no guts, no galaxy. Later, everybody.